Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name's Josh Hall. This is the Doghouse Racing League Tuesday Night Gen 4 Series, brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet here from Talladega Superspeedway. I apologize for being a little bit under weather here tonight, but we are going to get this done here. Superspeedway racing here at Talladega, and we already see some issues here in practice. Drivers getting their bump drafting and drafting practice in here before we go racing here for 47 laps. Here's the points coming into tonight. You see Jonathan Jennings still up at the top of the leaderboard. Jamie Horn only 62 points back. And then Christopher Simon back in third. Chris Leftwich and Justin McMahon round out your top five. I'll leave this up on the screen. See where all your favorite drivers are currently. You see Ken Byers moving up 4 spots. Brett McCoy losing 4 spots. Kevin Brown jumping up 4 spots. Shane Parrish losing 4 spots. So a couple movers. Big movers. Changes in the point standings here as we get ready to go racing here at Talladega Superspeedway. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch. We do appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, tonight's league is brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Trackside NASCAR Outlet is an authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including cup, Xfinity, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at www.tracksidenascaroutlet.com. Also, another great partner here in the Doghouse Racing League is Group 6. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse Racing League season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outperform and outshine. Discover more at group6inc.com. Of course, links down in the description to all of our great partners, including our own partners here on Intensity. Well, Butt Kicker is a partner of the Doghouse Racing League too, so don't want to forget them. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Their patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. Not realize this whole time I was talking and my microphone was muted. So you'll hear me talking about a bunch of different things here tonight, including the draft, partners, the energy, which lane's going to have the best momentum, and we'll be talking about that all race long, because this is a track where you can't do it by yourself. You're going to need some friends, and with these guys, whoever can get lined up the most, the more cars that can get lined up, the faster that line's going to be. We have just about 2.5 minutes left here in practice before we get ready to go racing here from Talladega Superspeedway. You get Jamie Horn currently the fastest on the racetrack, but that doesn't mean anything here at Talladega. Doesn't matter where you start. Doesn't matter who's the fastest. It's all about who has the friends and is there at the end. Another thing we talk about here at Talladega is the big one. Not if the big one happens, but when the big one happens, because these cars are so tight in a pack. Really easy for one car to get a little out of shape and cause a huge pileup that can take out 5, 10, 15 cars easily. And with the Doghouse Racing League not using resets, one incident could end your night early. So watch for that here tonight. We got about a minute and a half here. Take a look at the rest of the schedule. Next week, we'll move on to Phoenix Raceway, then over to Dover, Kansas, and Charlotte. We'll take a week off for Memorial Day, and then we'll round out the season from Michigan and Nashville Superspeedway. So a great rest of the season lined up for you here. Tonight, it's a bit of a crapshoot. We heard it last week from Jonathan Jennings. He says his goal this week is just to finish. So we'll be watching for drivers here to get things done. Last time we were on a super speedway, that would be Daytona, and that was won by Mike Leftwich. So could Mike Leftwich go 2 in a row here at the super speedways? Again, I apologize for disappearing for a second. I gotta drink some tea, trying to get this allergies out of me, and that way we can get this race underway. Again, tonight's race is also brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. This is the Trackside NASCAR Outlet 125 here from Talladega Superspeedway, 47 laps. Stage will be at the end of lap 24 as practice is about to conclude, and we're going to get qualifying underway. And these drivers are going to want to get out onto the racetrack as quickly as possible. As with their 5 minutes of qualifying, these drivers are going to take a little bit of time to get these things up to speed. These cars do have the restrictor plate, which means that the air is restricted into the engine. These cars also have a carburetor, so the air is restricted into the carburetor. So it reduces the horsepower. It takes these cars a little bit of time to get wound up, usually about a lap and a half to get up to speed, as we see Kevin Brown, one of the first drivers to make their way out onto the racetrack. Of course, this also has the old school wicker system. If you're not familiar with that, you can see across the top of the roof, there's a little wicker bill, as well as on the spoiler, there's a little wicker bill to catch air as well, to help slow these cars down, help them punch a bigger hole. That really increases the draft for these cars, so that's why you'll see these cars get huge runs as they're out on the racetrack. Jason Ross also out on the racetrack. Daniel Wilkerson making his way out onto the racetrack for his qualifying attempt. And Justin McMahon also out there on the racetrack. So most drivers already out on the racetrack getting their lap underway. Their first lap, usually they're going to waste it up at the top of the racetrack, trying to gain and build as much speed as they can. And with just with these laps taking about a minute each, that's why these drivers are going to get out there early, trying to get these laps underway. As Daniel Wilkerson takes the green flag on his qualifying attempt. Another unique thing about this racetrack, we'll throw it up on the screen here, is the shape. Yes, it's your normal D-shaped super speedway like Daytona, a little bit bigger than Daytona. Daytona is 2.5 miles. This is 2.66 miles. But you'll notice that red stripe, that is the start-finish line, and you notice that it is past the tri-oval. Most tri-ovals have the start-finish line right in the middle there. But to sell more seats down on the front stretch, they put the start-finish line a few hundred yards past the end of the tri-oval. So watch that come into play here tonight as drivers really try to race it to the end. As Jamie Horn sets the first fast lap. Here comes Daniel Wilkerson cutting it down to the bottom. And he's going to stay down on the bottom for his entire lap, trying to get as much speed out of this car as he can. There we see Jamie Horn right down, trying to get onto that yellow line without going over it, trying not to scrub too much speed. Right off of turn number 4, down the short chute towards the tri-oval. Tri-oval also has a little bit of character. There's a little bit of a bump there on that bottom lane. Can really upset the cars as Jamie Horn comes across the stripe. Going to improve his time with a 52.21. See, Ken Byers goes 52.22. Chris Leftwich across the line. He's going to be in the second position. Jason Ross jumps up to the top of the leaderboard. And Daniel Wilkerson goes 5th. Jonathan Jennings now up to the top of the leaderboard. Here's Mark Dumont making his way through turns 1 and 2. Looks like he is going to cut it down here and finish that lap. We see everybody kind of slowing down just a little bit. Here's Mike Leftwich and his qualifying attempt. See if he's able to improve his time here. Again, last time we were at a super speedway, Mike did get the win. See if he can go 2 in a row here at the super speedways. Down the short chute towards the tri-oval. Through the tri-oval. Excuse me, and down to the stripe. And Mike Leftwich is going to go P2. So showing that super speedway speed again. Outside front row for Mike Leftwich. Here's Richard Leclerc making his way down through turns 3 and 4 with about 20 seconds left. He should be able to complete this lap. Same with John Smith, just coming down through the short chute towards the tri-oval. And it sounds like he's shut that car off, so we'll see if Richard Leclerc can come down across the tri-oval and improve his time. And Leclerc does move his time up into the 14th position, and that he's going to do is Bill Gentry did not get a chance to put a lap in. So we will look at our starting grid here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. And on pole is the 25 of Jonathan Jennings. Mike Leftwich going to start outside in position number 2. Then Jason Ross and Chris Leftwich back in row number 2. That puts Chris right behind Mike. So it'll be a little bit of help right off the bat there for Mike Leftwich. Jamie Horn's going to roll off from the 5th spot with Christopher Simon in the 6th spot. Ken Byers and Justin McMahon make up row number 4. Row 5 will find Daniel Wilkerson and Kevin Brown with Steve Gerber and Tyler Millette back in row number 6. Row 7, John Smith and Richard Leclerc, followed by Mark Dumont and Eric Warman back in the 8th row. Rounding out the field will be Ricky Hudges II, Chuck Cobb, and Bill Gentry. As the drivers get ready here to get in their grid positions. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch, we do appreciate you tuning in here tonight. The league and tonight's race is brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Trackside NASCAR Outlet is an authorized Lionel dealer with a full line of diecast, including cup, Xfinity, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet also offers everything NASCAR, including full-size and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at tracksidenascaroutlet.com. Links down below in the description. Of course, can't forget about Group 6. Rev up your brand's potential with Group 6 at every turn of the Doghouse racing season. As your creative marketing powerhouse, we're here to fuel your success, accelerate your impact, and steer your brand towards victory. Group 6, where every race is an opportunity to outshine and outperform. Discover more at group6inc.com. Of course, the Doghouse Racing League and Intensity Broadcasting are both brought to you by the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And not just do they have racing sim haptics, but you can also find haptics that you can put in your couch for watching movies and music, as well as movie theaters in your area that might feature Butt Kicker technology as well. So check it all out over at thebuttkicker.com. As the field makes their way down the backstretch, we get ready to go racing here at Talladega. 47 laps, stage on lap 24. Of course, not a stage break. We're not going to break for the caution, but that is going to be the points paying stage on lap 24. And again, if you're new to the Doghouse Racing League, these drivers run hardcore mode. They do not have any resets, so any damage that they accrue here during the race will either need to be fixed up or they will retire. Especially here at Talladega, that can be a bit of a problem, as anything can happen here at Talladega. As I mentioned before, you've got the chance for the big one. And not if the big one happens, but when the big one happens. Here we go. Pace car pulls down on the pit road. Jonathan Jennings leads him down through the tri-oval and down to the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here from Talladega Superspeedway, and already that bottom lane starting to get out to a little bit of a jump. But Jonathan Jennings doesn't want to reach out too far without some help from behind, as Chris Leftwich and Mike Leftwich get hooked up here on that bottom lane. Now, Jason Ross gets hooked right onto the back bumper of Jonathan Jennings as they come down into turn number 3. But it's a little too late, as Chris Leftwich and Mike Leftwich get hooked up on that high line. And on that high lane, starting to have a little bit more momentum as they come down through turns 3 and 4. Down through the tri-oval for the first time. Again, that start-finish line down to pass the tri-oval, and Mike Leftwich is going to lead the first lap here from Talladega Superspeedway. Again, you can see as I put this up on the screen, you can see where that start-finish line is located past the tri-oval, so that is what's going to make a big difference here at the end of the race. As one driver, looks like Jamie Horn, gets way out of line. He's going to fall to the back of the pack. Another driver looks like he's falling back here as well. That was Ricky Hudges. They get back in line. Jamie Horn, though, is in danger. He does not want to lose the pack. Does not want to lose that draft, and right now it looks like he might be in a spot where he has lost the draft, and running by yourself will not be ideal. Back up at the front, Chris Leftwich, Mike Leftwich side by side for the lead down into turns 1 and 2. Justin Mann peeking his nose up to the high side. Thought about making it 3 wide for a second. Tucks back in line, and yes, it is confirmed. Jamie Horn has indeed lost the pack. He is all by himself back there. And at the moment, he is lapping the track at 2 seconds slower than the rest of the field. So if we do not get a caution, he has put himself in danger, as Christopher Simon Jumps up to the third lane all by himself, trying to make something happen out there. Nobody goes with him, though. Looks like he is going to go all the way to the back of this high lane. And that's the problem. If you get hung out there on that high side, you're going to go nowhere. So now we see that high lane starting to get formed back up. As Justin McMahon was just pushing on Chris Leftwich, and now he hangs him out to dry. So he drops down into that middle lane, and Chris Leftwich going to join Christopher Simon up on that high side as Mike Leftwich continues to lead. But here comes Justin McMahon with the 33 of Kevin Brown right behind, as well as Tyler Millette. Millette, a very good super speedway racer, so I expect him to be right up here at the front soon as well. And the field kind of spreading out a little bit, but let's put that track map up on the screen again, and you can see. And it looks like Jamie Horn has actually retired. He's on pit road. And yeah, it looks like Jamie Horn has retired from the race. So I don't know if something happened to Jamie that got him out of shape. We saw him go down to the bottom, fall back to the pack. Once he lost the draft, it looks like he has disconnected. We've got a battle back here. These drivers are in danger of losing the pack as well. This is the Ricky Hudges machine, as well as Chuck Cobb and Mark Dumont. So these three are going to have to get in line to try to catch back up to the pack. It looks like they are starting to catch the pack back up. As now Jason Ross up on that high side, trying to get up into the lead. He's getting a push from Justin McMahon. Of course, you got that third car in line who does not want to push the pusher. That third car in line, his job is just to sit there on the back bumper, not make any contact, and try to keep that momentum rolling. These cars create a little bit of an air bubble between them, and you want to try to break that bubble. You can see on that bottom lane, Jonathan Jenkins doing a great job of breaking that bubble, getting to the back bumper of Mike Leftwich, and that time by Jason Ross did lead that lap. But now Mike Leftwich down on that low side, continuing to make something happen. And here's just how fast things can happen. Ricky Hudges was in danger of losing the pack just a few minutes ago. Now he's up on that high side with Chris Leftwich, Christopher Simon, and it looks like Chuck Cobb up there trying to make that high lane work. And they are rolling up there. Now we see Justin McMahon thought about blocking that high lane for a second. Tucks back in line with Kevin Brown right there on the back bumper. As Jason Ross now takes over the lead of the race from Mike Leftwich. Got a little bit of help from the 24. Tucks down in line in front of Mike Leftwich, and that's going to allow McMahon to get a shove here from the 33 of Kevin Brown and put himself up towards the front. Ooh, one driver way down on the bottom of the track. That is Ken Byers. And we don't want to see him lose the draft like we saw Jamie Horn. He's going to tuck back in line. We'll see if he's able to stay with the pack here. So right now the pack really not too formed up. Not a lot of organization throughout the pack. That's why Justin McMahon is able to pull out to a pretty sizable lead here in that second lane. I would not be surprised to see Tyler Millette, though, if he gets clear of Jason Ross, dive right down to the bottom of the racetrack, which he does. But Kevin Brown and Justin McMahon go right down there with him as well. Richard Leclerc in the 117. He's got that middle lane working. Now Ross jumps back up to the high lane. He's going to try to get a shove here from Richard Leclerc as they come down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Also in that top lane, right behind Richard Leclerc, we see the Bill Gentry machine, as well as Christopher Simon and Jonathan Smith. See if they can get a little bit more organized in that middle lane, as we see the 3, or excuse me, that's the 175 of Ricky Hudges all by himself up on that high lane. they continue to run single file on that bottom lane. Pretty organized, as that top lane not quite as together as they could be. And that is what is currently keeping that bottom lane out in front. If the Ford Bill Gentry could get up to the 117 of Richard Leclerc, they might be getting something going there on that side, but right now it does not look like that is happening. So Ricky Hudges there up on that high side. He's fallen all the way back to the back of that line. He's side by side with the 23 of John Smith. These cars do not have as strong of a side draft as the Cup cars, the Xfinity cars, and the trucks have. As we see Kevin Brown now trying to shoot up to the outside and take over the lead as Tyler Millette stays hooked on the back bumper of Justin McMahon as they come off of turn number 2. McMahon still holds on to the top spot. Kevin Brown falls back just a little bit. He's trying to get a little push here from the 00 of Jason Ross. As they come down the backstretch, one car way off the pace. That is the 98 of James Moore, who's back on the racetrack. But being scored 7 laps down, soon to be 8 laps down. Sounds like the Jamie Horn machine is going to stay high to stay out of the way of the rest of the field. As Horn now trying to get a little help here. For the 175 of Ricky Hudges going to try to work with Horn here. Horn's going to tuck back. Nope, that's Hudges going to tuck back in line. So McMahon continues to hold on to that top spot. Kevin Brown, though, trying to fight up on that high side. It's all about the help behind Tyler Millette and Jason Ross. As we are about 9 laps, coming to 8 laps away from our stage. And Justin McMahon continues to hold on to that top spot, being pushed by Tyler Millette. Now, fuel mileage is going to come into play here a little bit. Tire wear. Tire wear is not so much of a factor here at Talladega Superspeedway. In the chat, do we have any availability on Wednesday nights? Shoot a message over to our Facebook page. I'm just an announcer. I'm not a scheduler, so not really sure if we have anybody available on Wednesday nights, but go ahead and shoot a message over there. We'll be more than glad to see if we have any availability for you. As Kevin Brown now takes over the lead, he got the shove from Jason Ross and out in front. Justin McMahon now having to shove that 33 along with Tyler Millette right behind. As Jason Ross now trying to get some help from the 4 of Bill Gentry to try to move that top lane. Top lane starting to get a little bit more organized in the back here. You see Ricky Hudges has Eric Warman right behind him. Didn't really talk about Warman much here tonight, but he is moving his way up through the front. Our biggest mover is that 14 of Bill Gentry. Your leader, Kevin Brown, is up 9 spots, but Gentry up 15 spots into that 4th position. As Jason Ross now with that big shove trying to take over that top spot. But that momentum falls apart on the high side. And Kevin Brown solidly out front as we have about 4 laps left here in this stage. Kevin Brown continues to lead. Again, fuel mileage isn't going to matter here in this first stage, although the drivers who are burning the most fuel, those are the drivers that are out front. Because they're pushing that all the air, that big wake. While the drivers in the back of the pack, they're able to save some fuel. They can run even half throttle to keep them at speed. You can save a ton of fuel back there. McMahon still sits back in second place as Jason Ross now gets sucker hold in the middle lane as Eric Warman, I'm sorry, that's not Warman, that's just Bill Gentry, jumps up to the high side with Ricky Hudges and Daniel Wilkerson up there as well. So we're about to go 3-wide racing here at the end of the stage. Kenzie going to start ramping up. Fortunately, Talladega being as wide as it is, you could easily run 3 and 4 wide here. As here comes Mike Leftwich. I didn't know where he'd he come from. Now he's up at the front of this middle pack trying to make something happen. Getting a big shot from Jason Ross. He's going to go up and block that high lane. Bill Gentry not going to back off. He's going to slide up to the high side. And Mike Leftwich going to dive all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack to take over the lead as we are coming to lap 23. So Mike Leftwich, the Daytona winner, out in front. Getting pushed by Kevin Brown and Jason Ross up on that high side, trying to make something happen as well. As the caution flies for the first time here tonight. We're going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night. Looks like it starts here with Chuck Cobb and the 14 of Mark Dumont. Dumont just came across the radio, said he thought he was clear, came down the racetrack, and he was not. That's what wipes out these two cars. Fortunately, not hitting anything but each other. Able to keep it off the wall. So no harm, no foul, although the end of the stage is here. And Mike Leftwich is going to be your stage winner. So as the field gets all lined up here behind the pace car, we will see the entire field making their way down onto pit road, led by the 60 of Mike Leftwich. And it looks like Mike Leftwich and Justin McMahon both stay out on the racetrack. And I think that's because that was the end of the stage right there. You see Jamie Horn coming around. He's going to get one of his laps back. So that will put him 7 laps down, excuse me. Again, we want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Kick, or over on Twitch, do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Don't forget that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Of course, tonight's race and series is brought to you by Trackside NASCAR Outlet. Trackside NASCAR Outlet is an authorized Lionel Racing dealer with a full line of diecast, including Cup, Xfinity, truck, driver apparel, hats, and jackets. Trackside NASCAR Outlet offers everything NASCAR, including full and mini helmets, flags, and coolers. Stop by and check out their store, follow them on Facebook, or check out their website at www.tracksidenascaroutlet.com. We're also brought to you here by The Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is a well-known established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products, figure out what's right for you, or find a movie theater in your area that might feature Butt Kicker products as well. Check them out at thebuttkicker.com. Well, we see Mike Leftwich making his way down pit road along with the 24 of... Oh no, Justin McMahon does stay out, so he might be banking on another caution here. So we'll see how this plays out here with 22 laps to go. I know McMahon does not have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. So I think he's out here banking on another caution coming out relatively soon, as we'll take the green flag with 21 laps to go. So Justin McMahon will be your control car. He'll be on the inside. Kevin Brown to the outside, row 2, with Jonathan Jennings and Tyler Millette to his outside, row 3. Chris Leftwich, Jason Ross, row 4, Eric Warman, Christopher Simon, row 5, John Smith, and Ricky Hudges. Chris Leftwich all the way at the back of the pack, but don't count him out. I've already seen him drive up through the pack once here tonight. We'll see if he is able to do it again. Again, a long way down to the starting zone here. And that start-finish line way down past the tri-oval. Here we go. Pace car dives down on the pit road. Justin McMahon leads them back down to the Geico restart zone. Where the green flag flies yet again, and we are back racing here with 21 laps to go. McMahon's going to pull up in front of the 33 of Kevin Brown. Try to use that momentum there from the 33. Will he drop back down, try to block Jonathan Jennings? Jennings has no help at the moment, but here comes the 13 of Chris Leftwich coming up to the back bumper of the 25, but it's a little too late as McMahon is going to have a big run here coming down the backstretch with Kevin Brown and Tyler Millette in tow. Everybody now wheeling and dealing as we see Ricky Hudges in the middle now, 3 wide, with John Smith and Daniel Wilkerson. As now Jennings going to get out in front with a big shove from Chris Leftwich to put him back up at the front with 20 laps to go. McMahon sees Jason Ross up in that high lane. Taking a look up there. He knows he's coming. Just trying to block that lane if it comes. And see if he can use that momentum. As we see Chris Leftwich pushes up the track a little bit. Falls off the back bumper of Jonathan Jennings. And that is going to give a little bit of energy to that middle lane. As here comes Justin McMahon in the middle here. Trying to get back into the lead. Just 19 laps to go. When does McMahon make the move down on the pit road? He is out front. He is leading. And he is burning more fuel doing that. How much fuel is in that car? Because being in that middle lane right now, if that thing was a sputter, that could be disastrous for everybody else in the pack. Man holding strong in that middle lane, getting pushed by the 33 of Kevin Brown. But here comes a third lane forming up there with Jason Ross, John Smith, and Ken Byers trying to get something working up there. Ross almost even here with McMahon and Jennings as they come down the backstretch They are 3 wide for the lead here at Talladega Superspeedway. McMahon inches out in front as they go down into turn number 3. McMahon's going to dive down in front of Jonathan Jennings and take over the top spot there on the bottom. Could he be thinking about getting down on the pit road soon? We will see, especially now that he's put himself down on the bottom lane. Kevin Brown in the middle lane now, getting pushed by Tyler Millette. He's going to have a little bit of help here. Here comes a 117 of Richard Leclerc into the mix. More drivers getting lined up in that third lane now. We see Jamie Horn, well, was up there in that third lane. He's going to tuck down into the middle lane. Ken Byers falls off John Smith just a little bit. Looks like things are really going to start heating up here in the next few laps. As Kevin Brown tries to get a shove here by Tyler Millette and out into the front here in that middle lane. Across the stripe, McMahon's going to lead that lap as we have 16 to go. Again, I'm not quite sure that 24 car has 16 laps of fuel in the tank. He is banking on a caution coming out. We'll put him back in a position, and one driver who I thought was going to have a great run here, that is the 60 of Mike Leftwich. He is running all by himself. He has lost the pack, and looks like a sweep of the super speedways is going to be hard to get. "15 laps to go here." McMahon continues to lead, pushed up a little bit, almost got up into Kevin Brown a moment ago. And McMahon will be pitting this time, so that 24 will be coming to pit road all by himself. And that is going to be a lonesome feeling out on the racetrack, as he will have no help when he comes off of pit road. Actually, it looks like he might have a little bit of help as somebody else coming down pit road. That's Jamie Horn, also coming down pit road here. So he will have a little bit of help, not enough to get him back up to the pack. However, the way they're racing back here, oh, one car up into the outside wall. There's Ken Byers. Heavy contact with the outside wall. Now he's in danger of losing the pack. Racing hard here all across the field as they're coming up on the lap car of Mike Leftwich, who's going to stay up on the high side. And Ken Byers has officially lost the pack, so his chances, if we don't get a caution, are over. Ken Byers going to make his way down onto pit road, trying to get some of that damage fixed. You see that heavy damage to the right side of that car. As the battle for the lead starting to shape up here is Jonathan Jennings getting a push here from Chris Leftwich. Almost gets out to the lead, but here comes Kevin Brown, and Leftwich gets a little loose there. That's going to break that momentum and give Brown the opportunity to pull back ahead. Tyler Millette out in front of Jennings as well. Does anybody come up and try to block that 25? And look way up on the high side. We see that machine of Ricky Hudges trying to get something to work up there, but nobody going with him. 12 laps to go. Kevin Brown out in front. Tyler Millette sits back in second. Jennings trying to get that middle lane to get working as they're coming up on some lap traffic. The 98 and the 24 are in front of them. Right now, they are lapping just a little bit quicker than those two. Last time by, our leaders at a 48.79, and McMahon and Jamie Horn. Let's see what they do here when they come across the stripe. A 50.15, so still about 2 seconds off the pace of the pack. Across the stripe next time by, we'll have just 10 laps to go. Now we see Jonathan Jennings with a huge shove here from Chris Leftwich, going to get those two out to the front. Jason Ross going to be left behind on that high lane. But he's got Daniel Wilkerson right there. We know Wilkerson's a very good super speedway racer. Can he get the 00 up towards the front? Kevin Brown coming, slides up a little bit, tried to get up in front of the 00, lost his opportunity. Now he's stuck in the middle in that sucker hole. Oh, a little contact there between Kevin Brown and Jason Ross. That was enough to check up the 00 machine. As they are 3 wide here in the middle of the pack, trying to get something going. Get ready to come to 9 laps to go. We're starting to get more 3 wide racing through the field. How about Ricky Hudges now up into the 4th position? Been trying to work that 3rd lane all race long. Now he finds himself up there battling for the lead. John Smith right behind, as we have 9 laps to go. Wilkerson, who was just up fighting for a top spot, now he's fallen all the way back up on the high side, leading that high lane. He's got Bill Gentry and Mike Leftwich up there trying to help him get back up towards the front. And side by side for the lead, we've got Kevin Brown and Jonathan Jennings off of turn number 4. Right behind Brown, though, you see that Hudges machine trying to steal a win here tonight. John Smith also right there in the mix, trying to make something happen. At this point, it's too close to call with just 8 laps to go. It's anybody's race. We've seen people drive from the back of the field. Whoa, big slide out of Ricky Hudges. He got super loose there. That allows John Smith to work up the high side of that machine. But with no help up on the high side, he's going to fall back like a rock. Well, we've seen drivers in the back of a pack like this get hooked up and go to the front in just a couple laps. Could we see somebody in the back of the field make their way up to the front here as we are coming to 7 laps to go? Coming up on the lap traffic of Jamie Horn and Justin McMahon. Horn and McMahon are going to stay up on that high lane. Also another slow driver up there, that is the 99. Ken Byers also quickly in danger of losing a lap. Byers with that damage, he is lapping about 7 seconds a lap slower than the rest of the field. And you're about to see 3 totally different speeds of cars here as they come up on the 99. And they basically go by this 99 like he's going backwards. Now up front, Jonathan Jennings still has that 13 on his back bumper. Kevin Brown, Ricky Hudges trying to make something happen up on that high lane. Does anybody pull out and make a 3rd lane here? That's the question, especially somebody in the back. You might even see somebody like Justin McMahon trying to lead that top lane and try to get somebody, pull somebody up towards the front. as they come down to the stripe. And we come to just 5 laps to go here from Talladega Superspeedway in the Trackside NASCAR Outlet 125. Things starting to settle down just a little bit in these closing laps. I imagine we're going to start seeing the intensity ramping up pretty quickly. As Jason Ross made the look to the outside saying, who's going to come with me if I make that move? If you're somebody like John Smith and Richard Leclerc, you're thinking that would be a good move to make, try to improve our positions quite a few spots. With 4 laps to go. I anticipate somebody making the move coming to 2 to go. So maybe off of turn number 4, coming to the 2 to go. So about 2 laps from now. We're going to need a little bit of time to build that momentum and get that run going. Look at John Smith. He's ready to go. He wants to move out to the high side, but nobody really working with him just yet. As they come down to the stripe, coming to 3 laps to go. Now Daniel Wilkerson and the 24 of McMahon up on that high side. Here comes that run that's starting to work up. Right behind we see 2 more drivers. That looks like see Jamie Hall. I'm not sure who's the horn back there, but they're trying to get something running back there. I think that's Bill Gentry. It is the 4 of Bill Gentry trying to get something working up on that high side. As we saw some smoke there off one of the cars. I think somebody got up into the outside wall. Looks like Jamie Horn might have caught the outside wall just a little bit. As we go through it, he gets turned. Yellow is out. Big wreck on the front stretch. Chris Leftwich gets turned up in front of the field. Caution comes out. That's going to bring up our second wreckage rewind of the night. We said the intensity was starting to ramp up right there. I believe it was the Leftwich machine that got a little out of shape there. We'll try to get the best view of this we can for you. I think the best view here is going to be from the iRacing blimp. So you see, Kevin Brown got turned here by Ricky Hudges, and that brings the 13 right down. Ooh, Jason Ross, heavy contact right there. There's the 14 of Leclerc, Ricky Hudges, Eric Warman involved, John Smith. The Jason Ross machine goes up and over on its side. Mike Leftwich, just catches a piece there. Coming through, Tyler Millette. Doesn't look like he hit anything, just kind of went through the grass. We'll see here. Yeah, he was able to avoid everything. So a lot of tore up race cars, and that's going to set ourselves up a green-white checker. We see Chris Leftwich making his way down on the pit road. Jason Ross on pit road. John Smith with damage. There's the 4 of Bill Gentry. Chuck Cobb down on pit road. Eric Warman. Steve Gerber with quite a bit of damage. Man, a lot of damage for Mark Dumont. He had a car up and into his windshield. Kevin Brown. That car looks like it's going to be done. Ken Byers coming down to get some damage fixed as well. So Jonathan Jennings able to escape it. Daniel Wilkerson as well. Tyler Millette, like I said, just kind of went through the grass. Doesn't look like he's got any, if not too much damage to that 94. Richard Leclerc has a little damage to that right rear bumper. Doesn't look like anything is going to cause any significant harm. And Christopher Simon looks like he was able to get through this one unscathed as well. And looking back at this Richard Leclerc machine, does look like he's got a lot more damage to the right side of that car than I first thought. So yeah, it looks like he's going to be in a bit of trouble here with the right side of that car all tore up. When we come to the stripe this time by, we'll have just one lap to go before we go back green flag racing for a green-white checker shootout. Again, don't forget to join us next week as we head over to Phoenix Raceway. It'll be a fun one next week. Going a little short track racing here after the Superspeedway. Right here on Intensity Broadcasting. So Jonathan Jennings going to choose the inside here. I'll put Daniel Wilkerson to the outside. Tyler Millett's going to be Jennings' help here on this restart. Unfortunately, it looks like Daniel Wilkerson will not have much help, as he'll have the 117 of Richard Leclerc, who again has quite a bit of damage to that car. Christopher Simon going to roll off the 5th position. And Bill Gentry up in 6th. See the 98 of Jamie Horn there. He is still being scored 8 laps down. As the field gets caught up here on the backstretch, a few drivers just coming into turn number 1. They should be able to catch up to the field before we go back green flag racing. Yes, they're all checking up here. So here we go. Pace car is going to be taking the hard left-hand turn on the pit road this time by. Looks like everybody's kind of getting themselves situated here. The pace car dives down on the pit road. And Jennings going to lead him back down to the Geico restart zone. Where the green flag is going to fly, and we're going to go back racing here for a green-white checker finish. We see the exactly what I thought was going to happen. Daniel Wilkerson, no help there on that high lane. Drivers scrambling in the back here, trying to get the fast cars around the cars with damage. How about this? Justin McMahon in the 24. He's back on the lead lap. Getting a big shove here from John Smith. And you know what? He's going to have a head of steam as he's going to catch the field here, as they are still trying to get things organized here up at the front. McMahon's got quite a bit of help from Jamie Horn and John Smith, as they are 2 by 2 up here at the front. The white flag is about to wave. And here comes McMahon with a head of steam and a full draft here. Down into turn number 1, white flag is in the air. McMahon going to look all the way up to the high side. He's going to have a little bit more help here as John Smith tries to pedal himself back up to those two up on the high side. They are 3 wide for the lead as they come down the back and towards turn number 3. Can that high lane prevail as here comes McMahon through the high side. Tyler Millette in the middle. Jonathan Jennings down on the bottom. 3 wide off of turn number 4. This trial is going to come into play as we talked about where that start-finish line is located. As they come down through the trial for the final time, down through the trial and across the stripe, and they get turned. McMahon gets turned right at the line. Jonathan Jennings gets the win. Tyler Millette comes home second. Christopher Simon in third. McMahon fourth, and John Smith brings it home fifth. And Jonathan Jennings, who said he didn't like his chances here tonight at the Superspeedway, finds himself at the top of the podium here tonight in the Trackhouse NASCAR Outlet 125 here at Talladega Superspeedway. As Jonathan Jennings burns him down here at the start-finish line on the front stretch. Celebrates his victory. Let's see how far he's able to get the burnout here. As we get ready to look at our finishing results here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. And again, Jonathan Jennings is your winner here tonight. Tyler Millette brings it home in second. Christopher Simon comes home third. Justin McMahon and John Smith round out your top 5. Daniel Wilkerson comes home in 6th. Eric Warman in 7th. Chuck Cobb brings home in 8th. Great run for him. Richard Leclerc and Steve Gerber round out your top 10. Mark Dumont brings it home in 11th. Bill Gentry in 12th. Jason Ross, Chris Leftwich, and Ken Byers in the top 15. Mike Leftwich brings it home in 16th. Kevin Brown 17th. Ricky Hudges in 18th. And Jamie Horn rounds out the field here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 here tonight, we'll bring in your third place finisher, driver of the Shoney 21 Shoney's machine, Chris Simon. Chris, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, I got you.
Man, a great run for you here tonight. A lot of excitement there, and you were able to keep yourself out of all of it. That's the main thing here tonight, especially trying to keep your nose clean and keep the car clean. What's the strategy here tonight? Does it try to stay out of trouble here for the most of the race, just to be there at the end?
Yeah, that's the plan most times in these types of tracks. As I was like right in the back around like 10th place, not far to the back, but around where the leaders were, and I was just staying put, not making any aggressive moves, like taking it free wide, anything like that. It's like I feel like doing that would just lead to like a major wreck that we just saw right there.
Yeah, and the Shoney's team showed some speed. We had Mike Leftwich qualifying the outside pole. You had Chris up there as well. You kind of working with him. Was that kind of all of your goal there tonight, or was you guys just trying to play your own races here tonight and hopefully get hooked up at the end?
Chris and Jennings were really working well together up there in the top 2. And afterwards, I think it was more running our own races afterwards, or just me and Mike, because he had a penalty there with his when he pitted, and I was just riding in the back in top 10. I was trying to get up there to help them out, but afterwards I just said I'll just stay put and just see what happens. If I'm able to make a move like able to get up there, I'll make it with my team. But if not, then I just ride in the back and just see how it goes.
Well, next week we head on over to Phoenix Raceway. How do you like your chances there? Your little short track racing.
I love short tracks, so I'm looking forward to that race. I'll be practicing for that for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, good luck next week at Phoenix. Hopefully, we'll talk to you again soon. But before we let you go, anyone you want to thank? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Shout out you guys for the broadcast. I watch every night with my family watches as well. They watching right now, so shout out to them as well. And I want to shout out to my teammates, Jennings, Chris, and Mike. They're really fun guys to run with, like great teammates. I want to shout out Doghouse Racing League. They're really fun racing with. Like today's race was like really fun. Like not too much cautions, which is really good, clean racing. So shout out to them and yep, and shout out to the sponsors as well.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish here tonight. Good luck next week at Phoenix, and hopefully, we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
That was your third place finisher, Christopher Simon. Let's bring in your second place finisher here tonight, Tyler Millette. Now, Tyler, got Josh up in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Now, I said at the top of the show that you were one to watch here. You're really good at these super speedways. You always seem to be there at the end trying to fight out for the finish, and that's exactly what we saw here tonight. We saw that big wreck that happened just behind you, or actually, you were involved in it. You end up going through the grass. Doesn't look like you got any damage out of it, and still held on for a second place finish. Talk us through that intense battle there coming to the green white checker.
Yeah, I knew I was a little bit worried about the damage. Afraid it might have been affecting the arrow and stuff, but once we hit that last restart, it took off good. Knew it was good. I looked back, saw my teammate Daniel rolling through, and figured it was time to go and see if we could jump out and make something happen. And we almost did, but just come up short, probably a few inches off the bumper. But I mean, you can't get no better finishes than that. You know, 3 wide, everybody fighting for it, and door to door, and everybody crossed the line. So.
Yeah, the race seemed to have a couple different. I know the stage kind of came into play here, and that caution coming out right at the stage, but it seemed like everything was pretty mild, and then it ramped up, and then it got mild again, then ramped up again. And then we had those two little cautions there, but inside the car, I'm sure the pace of the race and the changes in pace kind of really messed up the momentum from behind the helmet.
Oh yeah, I mean it definitely. We went like you said, it's pretty mild there early on, and probably the last 10 laps, you could feel the intensity start picking up and everybody's getting a little fidgety, a little more nervous. And I really thought we was gonna come down to a normal finish without the green white checkered, but I think it still would have been just as wild and everything because everybody was feeling it, everybody was fast tonight, everybody's working good with teammates. I just know one thing, with that bump on that trial, it's about wore my arms out.
I brought that up at the top of the show too. I said, you got to watch that bump there, but it seems like everybody's able to navigate it and had a great race out of it. Well, next week we move on to Phoenix International Raceway. How you like your chances going a little short track racing next week?
I always like Phoenix. It's always been good to me, but it's one of my favorites. So hopefully, we'll show up and maybe we'll grab us in our top 3, maybe not, but time will tell. But I'm definitely looking forward. I always like the short tracks and really shows off, who's got the best brake control, throttle control, stuff like that, and makes for exciting races at Phoenix too.
For sure. Well, again, congratulations on the podium here tonight, P2. Great finish for you. And of course, before we let you go, anyone want to thank any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout out all of our sponsors that help make this happen. We've got so many of them that just help pitch in, and each and every one of them special to us at making this happen. I want to shout out to Daniel too for putting this league on. Shout out to my teammates. I know Justin was out there helping me tonight. K-Doggy was helping. I had Daniel help me out big time there at the end. I couldn't have finished in that second place if he hadn't helped push me through to the end right there. Shout out to you guys for putting the shows on too. They're wonderful to watch. Family gets super involved. Everybody gets hyped up. I mean, you can't get no better than that. And then shout out to the guys that show up for these races because, like I said, without you all putting on the show and without our driver showing up, it just wouldn't be as fun as it is like it was tonight.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate the shout out. And again, congratulations on the runner up here tonight. Good luck next week at Phoenix, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your runner up here tonight, Tyler Millette, as we bring in your winner here tonight, and my screen went black for a second. But we'll do it like this and bring up Jonathan Jennings, your winner. Jonathan, you got Josh up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, last week you were saying that you didn't like your chances here tonight at the Super Speedway and end up getting yourself the win. Talk us through the race there, because I saw Jamie Horn have some issues there at the beginning of the race. Looked like he was working well with you at the beginning of the race, and he kind of falled off, and you had to find some new teammates to help you out.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what happened to him. I don't know if he had an issue with something and had to back out and come back, but yeah, we always work good together. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky. The quickest lines, the more you move up, the quicker it is, and but the problem is you have nowhere to go when the crash starts happening. So I just rode on the bottom, tried to keep the best position we could.
Yeah, it seemed like I was saying it to Tyler. It seemed like the race had different intensity levels throughout the race. Started off really mild, kind of ramped up there before the stage, got mild again, got exciting, mild again, and had a couple cautions there that kind of threw things, threw a little loop in things as well. But you find yourself on the front end of things. Did you have any kind of strategy coming in here tonight other than just trying to stay out of trouble?
Mm, not really. How to get a lap lead, stage points if I could, and I bet that just the finish really. That was it. There's no other strategy. For me here, because I'm just happy to finish.
That's what you said last week. So your whole goal was just to finish and get some points. And man, you cashed out with max points in the top spot here tonight. So congratulations on that. Next week we move over to Phoenix Raceway. I know it's a track that you like. You have a lot of success at these short tracks. How do you like your chances next week from Phoenix?
Yeah, I love Phoenix. Hopefully, I'll figure the car out. I have not been there with this car, so I don't know. There's a lot of good drivers that show up. Um, so I'm sure I'll have my work cut out for me. If Jamie, Justin, Tyler shows up, and a lot of others really. Um, yeah, there's a lot of good guys, a lot of new guys showing a lot of speed and starting to look really good. Competitive series here, so hopefully it continues and um yeah, we'll start seeing a bunch of new winners.
Well, again, awesome race here tonight, getting the win here. Again, congratulations on the win. Good luck next week at Phoenix. And of course, before I let you go, anyone want to thank you? Any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, you guys for the broadcast, Daniel and all the admins for putting all this stuff together, and the league sponsors. I believe it is Trackside NASCAR Outlet for this series, and of course any other sponsors that helps us out. Auto Pros, Johnny's, of course, Root Sit, all those people that help us out. My teammates, and all the guys there at the end that were coming to the line. That was really fun, and hopefully we can have that Thursday night.
Yeah, I heard you didn't even know you guys were three wide there at the end.
No, I didn't. I seen them back there a ways, but I didn't know if they ever made it up there. So
Well,
that
again,
was fun.
awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the win. Again, great run here tonight. Good luck next week at Phoenix, and hopefully, I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
All right, man. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
So that was your winner, Jonathan Jennings, getting the win here tonight from Talladega Superspeedway. That's going to do it for us here tonight in the Trackside NASCAR Outlet Gen 4 Series with the Doghouse Racing League. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to check out all our great partners listed down below in the description, including Trackside NASCAR Outlet, Group 6, as well as our website over at intensityracing.com. Again, we do appreciate you all tuning in here tonight. And that's going to do it for us here tonight. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. As our boy Atlee at